Hey everyone, my name's Walter, and I'm back here to bring you some more Reddit content. Today we're going to be heading over to Reddit relationships to see some problems people have been having with their relationships. These don't have to be romantic relationships, but they often are. Other subs I might use include relationship advice and AITA. I'm not supposed to curse in the first 30 seconds, so yeah. Anyway, let's get started with relationship stories from Reddit relationships. So let's begin with a tale about a night of drunken debauchery. Boyfriend 42 of 5 months fooled around with my 38 best friend 42 of 10 years in my bed. I don't know how to handle it. Update, I have broken up with him. He's getting all of his stuff today. So this all started after an amazing day. My BFF came over to hang out and meet my boyfriend. A few other friends were over, but they eventually left and it was just us 3 left. This is not an uncommon scenario. This friend and I have known each other for most of our lives, but we got super close 10 years ago when we were both pregnant at the same time. During part of our friendship, we were both married and would hang out at times almost every day at one of our houses. She is still married, I'm divorced. We also do a lot of joint sleepovers with our kids and have for years because we both have girls of similar ages. Nothing has ever happened with either of us and the other person's husband or boyfriend. Ever. This time was different. We all started drinking. My boyfriend is not a big drinker. My friend is, but she stopped drinking for January and has only drank a handful of times. I don't know if that contributed because their tolerance was lower. I don't know. All I know is we drank a ton of wine. I woke up on the couch and had a pillow and blanket. I walked upstairs and my door was locked. I had to kind of break the door handle a bit to open it. Luckily, it is an older house. When I came in, both my boyfriend and my friend were in the bed together, but on opposite ends, not touching or anything. I thought it was weird that they were both in the bed together and the door was locked, and I wasn't really sure why it wasn't both us girls or me and my boyfriend up there. I woke up my boyfriend and asked why I was left on the couch, and he had said that I had passed out and there was nowhere else for them to sleep, so they both slept in my bed and passed out. He told me to get in the bed with them, and I did between them. My friend was still asleep, so I get in between them and then I realize he is in his underwear. I'm like, what the fuck, and asked him why he was in his underwear with my friend. He said he always sleeps in his underwear and he was drunk and not thinking. So then I kind of lift the covers and see my friend is in her thong. This girl and I have slept together many a time after drinking, and she has never slept in a thong, so I ask him about it and he confesses that they may have fooled around some. So after about 24 hours of talking about this, processing it, etc., this is what I have been told by my boyfriend. He says we were all just talking and having a great time when I suggested a threesome. My friend was rubbing on my leg and he said I looked like I was going to make out with her. He said we all started talking about it and then I got tired and went to sleep. He went and got me a pillow. He was going to go, he said, but my friend told him to go stay in the bed and she would stay on the floor. He told her not to do that she should sleep in the bed. He said he had every intention of her sleeping in the bed and him leaving, but she said she wasn't ready to go to bed yet and wanted to drink more wine, so they drank wine and talked. He says he is not sure what happened, but they started fooling around, and I do know he played with her boobs. He wouldn't really go into a lot of detail because he said I don't want to know the details. He said he is pretty sure he pulled off her pants and that his pants didn't come off because he had to go to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom and came out and saw her with her butt in the air with a thong on, and then he felt sick, so he went to the bathroom and threw up all over the place, including all over his clothes. He said that is why he was in his underwear when I came up, because he threw up all over his pants and shirt. That moment when you bend over in front of someone and they immediately run into the bathroom and puke, that's gotta feel good. After that, he said he got on the other end of the bed from my friend on the edge. I know he threw up because even though he tried to clean it up in his drunken state, he didn't do a perfect job. He tried to have sex with me that morning while we were in the bed with her, and right after I found out that they had fooled around. He was still drunk, but I was pretty repulsed and kicked him out. When my friend woke up, he was gone and I was in the bed next to her. She was in a hurry to leave because she was running late for something, so I haven't spoken to her about it. I also think she may have wet the bed, which she has never done before. I do think she was incredibly drunk. A few important details. This friend and I did have a threesome once before, years ago, with a guy we met downtown. It was a one-night stand kind of thing, and neither of us ever talked to him again or about it to each other. So I do think the suggesting of a threesome thing was probably true. But my boyfriend and I have discussed threesomes before, and I told him I would not feel comfortable with him with another girl since he and I are in a relationship. He has said that if we ever did decide to do one, he would be okay with just watching me and the other girl and just having sex with me. So in no way should he have felt that a threesome condoned sex with her. He claims he hasn't ever done anything like this before, and he says he was honest. He was crying talking to me about it later in the evening. I do pretty much believe his account is true, but I just don't know. He did say that knowing she and I have had a sexual thing in the past made him feel a little better about what he did, but I don't personally think it changes anything he did at all. He said not to blame her, which makes me feel like he started it, but who knows? What should I do? She dropped the boyfriend pretty much immediately, but she says she's not willing to drop her friend. Now people are arguing if this is an assault or not because the friend was blackout drunk. You see, this is the problem when everyone gets this drunk. Now we'd have to figure out who's drunker, the woman who blacked out or the guy who puked all over himself. Not that I'm anyone to criticize, of course. According to the author, the friend's husband cheats on her constantly, so she's not even going to tell him. Let me know what you think about all this. Am I the asshole for calling my coworker an idiot for being proud that he's never eaten a vegetable? This sounds stupid, but hear me out. There's a guy at work who always makes gross noises whenever he sees someone eating celery, salad, tomatoes, stuff like that. Sometimes he even says things like, "I don't see how you guys can eat that stuff," or "I get sick watching you eat that." Well, today the new guy looked at him like he was crazy and asked what he did when he eats it. He said that he never does. I said, like, "What? You never eat vegetables?" And he's like, "No, I never did, even when I was a kid." He was real proud of it too, like it was something special that he'd never eaten one in his life. I said he was an idiot because that's not healthy and it's a stupid thing to be proud of. He told me I was an asshole and another guy said, "Yeah, you are." I kinda still think he's an idiot though, but was it asshole to say? I mean, it's never really going to be polite to call someone an idiot, but he's certainly not wrong. That's a really weird flex. It's the kind of thing someone would be proud of as a child, like not bathing. Am I the asshole for kicking my boyfriend out during a pandemic and calling his mom to come get him? Oh, that title's promising. They like to start out by making themselves look horrible with the title and then explain how they're not. I, 30 female, let my boyfriend, Jesse, 39 male, come live with me and my niece/nephew who I have custody of, a year before this pandemic mess. So we moved in around the start of 2019, but we'd been dating since 2016. I own a modest 3-bedroom home, left to me by my mom, that I have to pay all utilities/property tax, etc. on. No mortgage, thank God, but everything else I pay. His lease was coming to an end soon, and we decided he'd come live with us for a year to see if we'd work out as a married couple. I discussed it with my niece and nephew, and they were alright with it, since it was a test. Things went well for most of 2019. He paid for part of the utilities and helped around the house. But long story short, he lost his job at the end of 2019 and didn't try looking for a new one. He said he was, but I don't see how he had time between his day-long gaming sessions. He lived off his savings until they dried up, stopped helping around the house and just turned into a couch potato. But the absolute worst thing was when he'd flip out when he was losing one of his games. He'd rage and scream. He knows I can't handle men screaming, like at all. I talked to him and told him he couldn't act that way in my house. He got all teary and apologized and did better. For a week. Then he was right back to his shit behavior. It freaked my niece and nephew out. There's a reason I have custody of them. And around August, I finally snapped at him and said if he didn't get his crap together, he was gone. He cried and said he was trying and things were so hard right now, and he basically guilted me into feeling bad for him. I told him he had 1 month to get himself together, clean himself up, stop laying on the couch all day, do stuff around the house, look for any kind of work, etc., or he was out. He sniffled and said okay. Nothing changed. He took a shower but kept up the gaming, the rage quitting, not looking for a job, everything. Well, 1 month after that, I told him I was done and he needed to get out that day. He turned on the waterworks again, but I was done, so I called his mom to come get him. She came around. She could hear him sobbing in the background, I'm sure, and it was a huge fucking scene. Turns out he'd been lying about having a job. She shamed him into getting up and packing everything of hers and leaving with her. I took his key and he gave me the most hate-filled glare on his way out. He told our friends and they said I was heartless for kicking him out mid-pandemic, and that I embarrassed him by calling his mom like that. I thought I handled it maturely, but they're all saying I'm the asshole and handled it badly. So am I the asshole? I don't think anyone's gonna say she's the asshole here. We've seen stories where these guys will stay without contributing for literally years if they don't get kicked out. Which is really appreciated when he's rapidly turning the living room into a neckbeard den. It's not really that his mom has to come pick him up, but that he forced his girlfriend into a position where she pretty much had to call his mom or the cops. And then he blamed it on her. There's a few edits here, let's read them. Edit, I just sent a detailed message about everything that happened to the group Discord all our mutual friends chat on. I didn't spare a single detail and even told them that if they didn't believe me to call his mom. She knows what's up. I'll see what they have to say. Edit 2. Well, one of our mutual friends heard my side of the breakup. Yes, we are broken up now. And went to go talk to him, and she grilled him over text about what he said / what I said, and he eventually broke down and admitted he'd lied and had been for a while. She in turn posted the screenshots of him admitting he'd lied to try and make me look like the bad guy. Our friends aren't amused, and all of them apologized to me, both in the chat and via call, for jumping the gun without hearing my side first. I've forgiven them, but let them know having them treat me like that without even seeing what I had to say first hurts a lot, since I tried for months to get Jesse to get help, but he refuses. Things are better on the friend front, but Jesse keeps trying to private message me, and I haven't looked at any of them. Honestly, I just don't want to talk to him for a while. I'm very tired and just want to enjoy my now clean and quiet house. And to those concerned, my niece and nephew are both doing much better. They're both not cooped up in their rooms anymore, and are doing their Zoom classes in the kitchen without worry of embarrassment. So these kids had to worry about their class Zoom call picking up angry gamer ranting from the other room? That shows a bit of a lack of self-awareness on the guy's part. He probably has some other problems to deal with, as she said. Anyway, I think that's about all the time I have for you today. Kind of a short video for me, but I want to get more consistent with just uploading. I think there is a neckbeard story I'd like to cover soon, so look out for that. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say about the stories or about the video in general, let me hear it in the comments. I read all the comments for the first day, generally. If you're new here and enjoyed the video, consider subscribing for more of the same. I'd also like to give a special thanks to all my patrons. I'll be shouting them out on whatever video I think is going to do well this week. Have a great night, everyone, and don't tell my mom that I don't have a real job. Nah, I'm just kidding, she knows what I do.